Once upon a time, Canada mattered. Like 8 months ago. It had leverage, it had access, it had America's attention. But in the world we're heading into, Canada doesn't bring enough to the table, and Washington is acting like it. This isn't about friendship. It's not about shared values. Well, I think it is about shared values. It's about strategic utility, and Ottawa is quickly becoming not very useful. Hey, this is Frank with America's Geopolitics. If you're tired of the globalist bullshit, subscribe now. Canada was built into the old world order. Stable, predictable, full of assumptions about trade, diplomacy, and shared prosperity. It was never a superpower, but it played its role, exporting energy, buying American goods, defending the Arctic flank, and showing up at the G7 looking respectable. And that worked when America needed stable allies to balance a volatile planet. But that's not today's America. In 2025, the US has pulled manufacturing home. It's trying to secure its own energy independence, and it's replacing polite alliances with raw strategic calculation. And when you run the numbers, Canada is simply no longer critical. Now let's walk through this. Energy, yes, Canada exports a lot. But it's dirty, expensive to move, and politically messy. Meanwhile, the US is producing more oil than ever and refining it domestically or in Mexico. Trade? Mexico now dominates. Younger labor force, faster supply chains, and less red tape. Mexico is what Canada used to be. Vital. Geography. Sure, Canada shares a border, but in a post-globalized world, borders aren't what matter. Access and alignment do. Canada has a massive border with America, but almost nothing America urgently needs. And when it had a chance to reset, Canada did the one thing you don't do when Donald Trump is in the Oval Office. It tried to mess with him. The digital services tax was a message to Silicon Valley, but it landed like a slap in Washington. The Trump administration hit back with retaliatory tariffs that cost Canadian exporters billions. And instead of pivoting when Trudeau's government was still in office, it chose optics over strategy, betting on multilateralism in a world that's gone bilateral. There was a window to align with Fortress America. Instead, Ottawa tried to out-globalist the globalist. And it looks like it's losing. But here's the kicker. Canada isn't one voice anymore. Alberta and Saskatchewan aren't waiting for Ottawa. They're plugging into the American economy directly, selling oil, natural gas, building infrastructure, ties, aligning with U.S. red states. There's a North American integration happening, but Ottawa isn't leading it. The provinces that produce real value, they're treating the U.S. like a business partner. The federal government, they're still acting like it's 2005 and the WTO matters. I don't even know when the last time we sent something to the WTO. This isn't a national collapse, it's just a realignment, and one that may split Canada and other players into different groups. Our old allies might not be our new allies. Now, Trump's trade vision is very transactional. If you contribute to America's economic strength, you're in. And Canada does in so many ways, but in so many ways doesn't. And if you don't, you're a liability. And right now, Canada is expensive labor, limited manufacturing, energy that's tough to refine, and leadership that talks climate while the grid collapses. So the US, we've been cutting deals elsewhere. Vietnam, Poland, Mexico, these are the countries that see where the game is headed and are adjusting. Canada is still negotiating climate protocols and trade equity. It's not malicious, it's math. America is optimizing its future. Canada is defending the past. Here's the truth. The US doesn't hate Canada. I think we're just moving on. Ottawa had its chance to stay aligned economically, politically, and strategically, but it hesitated. It prioritized ideology over industry. And they did, there's no question. And now the best parts of Canada, its energy sector, its export provinces, its ambitious entrepreneurs are looking south for opportunity. Now it leaves a lot of people stuck in a system that no longer makes sense. I think there's still time. Canada can always pivot. It can decentralize, align, retool its economy. But I don't think Washington's going to wait for them. And once you fall off America's priority list right now, getting back on, it seems a lot harder than you think. Once we start making those deals and we've got them in a way that we want, why would we need more partners? If we're already receiving what we need, why would we keep adding partners in? There really is no reason. So once we start making deals and get into like that 15th, 16th, 18th deal, then there's really no sense to wait for Canada, India, maybe even China if they wait long enough. That's going to be a tougher one to end, no doubt. But, if it gets to a point where they wait so long, they just won't be needed anymore. Hey, if you like what you heard, this is Frank with America's Geopolitics. See you next time.